And for more on these developments, with us on the broadcast this minute is Dr. Sergej Sumleni, who is a defense expert and director, European Resilience Initiative Center. Thanks very much for being here with us. Let me begin by asking you for your assessment of what really has happened. What do you think is the message that Russia is trying to send out at this point and the way it's being received by the United States?
Oh, thank you very much for having invited me. And indeed, the situation is very dire and needs to be addressed and analyzed with all the knowledge we have. Like what we have now is that Russia has demonstratively used this missile, which is probably a middle-range missile, which development violated treaties which Russia has recently left, but obviously the development of the missiles started during the time when Russia was a member of treaties which prohibited development of such middle-range missiles, which already points out that Russia clearly violated treaties it was a member of. It's a signal that we need to understand. Who is the addressee of this message? Vladimir Putin spent a lot of time yesterday for his message, but who is really the message? Who is really the addressee of this message? I believe it is the West. It is Washington, less Berlin, but mostly Washington. And Putin says, look, I have weapon, I have will to use it, and you will just let me do whatever I want to. And this is a very dangerous message, because practically if you allow a dictator who has nukes and who directly threatens to use nukes not only against Ukraine, its neighbor country, but also against the world which supports Ukraine, that is what Putin clearly said, that practically means that you allow this dictator to do anything as long as this dictator has nukes. So Putin practically demands from the West a carte blanche, allowance to do whatever he wants just because he has nukes, and that is his position. And the third thing is, I believe that this message and this usage of this missile is also a sign of desperation and of fear of Vladimir Putin. Because if you are an overwhelming military power which can defeat your enemy with conventional means, and Putin believed he will defeat Ukraine within 3 days, you don't have a need to use ballistic missiles developed from intercontinental ballistic missiles and to threat the world with nukes when he can finish this war with conventional means. So Putin is afraid, he's weak, but he believes that the West is more afraid than he is, and he threatens the West with the nukes. Ukraine is not an addressee of this message. It is Washington, it's Berlin.
Let me also ask you this. What do you make of the fact that Ukraine did at first claim that this was an ICBM? Why do that when now we see how things have panned out and how Ukraine has had to, kind of answer the kind of questions that have been raised by experts as well?
Well, the division between ICBM and IRBM is purely number division. Like, does missile come further than 5,000 kilometers or does it not? So that practically it's the same missile, the same technology, the same principles. And we knew that the Russians, they said they will use RS-26, which is clearly ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles, with the range between like 5,000 and 8,000 kilometers. After all, they have used another modification. And frankly speaking, when we say that they have used this Oreshnik missile, it's what Putin says. We cannot be complete sure that it was Oreshnik or something else, some other modification. And its effective distance of usage is like 800 up to 5,000 kilometers. So there is an intersection in the distance between two missiles. Important thing is, and that's why we can say it is the same type of weapons for the political reason, not technical, but for political. It is a missile which was designed specifically to bring nuclear warheads. It was not designed to bring conventional warheads. That's why the Russians didn't even have used conventional warheads, because there is no such thing. They have used like blank ammunition. They're like just pieces of of metal for purely kinetic strike, because they don't have conventional warheads for this missile. It is a nuclear weapon which was used without a warhead. And how it strikes a target, like it has depletable multiply warheads which divide in the air and which heat separate targets. It is what nuclear intercontinental missiles do. What Russia has developed against the threat is it has side. It has developed the same missile for shorter range, which makes it more dangerous because the flight time is short. You don't have time for your reaction. That's why these missiles were banned by international treaties. Now Russia has developed this missile and tested it. We don't know how much of such missiles they have. But once again, the message for the world was, look, I can do whatever I want next time I fire a nuclear missile. I don't believe personally Putin will dare to do it, but this is his message. And he wants the West to be so afraid that the West stops to support Ukraine, allowing Putin to blackmail everyone for the next decades.
All right, we're leaving there for the moment. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.